I have not hit a 5-minute power record in many months now. And naturally, I'm on a new bike, I'm in a new country. I want to know if I can. So today's video, I'm going to test out my 5-minute all-time record and see if I can beat the last one, which was in August of 2025. My name's Ely. Join me in this video of suffering. A jolly good morning to you from Dubai today. It is windy, overcast, and going to rain this afternoon. Believe it or not, we got rain here in the desert. Today I am, as you would have guessed from the intro and the title of the video, going for a 5-minute PR. Now, I have not hit a 5-minute PR since August of 2025, and that wasn't even a full 5 minutes because I stopped at the 4-minute mark because I was going for a KOM on a very short, steep climb in Romania, and at 3 minutes and 59 seconds, I made it to the end of the segment and stopped. So that last 1 minute of average for the 5 minutes was taken from the beginning of the segment where I was pushing only around 200 watts, or before I even got to the segment, sorry. And so realistically, I only have a 4-minute PR from this year because the 5-minute was underreported because I didn't go for 5 minutes, meaning my last true 5-minute PR was back in 2024. Now, I have some advantages today and some disadvantages. And I want to walk you through my plan, my nutrition, the past 8 weeks-ish of training, how I'm going to approach this, what my goal is, what I'm hoping to hit, and then I guess we'll see at the end what actually happens. So let's start with advantages. Today is a beautiful temperature. It is 27 outside, but the sun's not strong because it's very cloudy. It's a very nice temperature compared to, because I'm heat adapted, I'm used to riding in 30, 35 with the sun, so very hot. Whereas right now, when I started the ride, I felt a little bit cold even. That's advantage number one. Advantage number two, unintentionally, I took a rest day yesterday, and I'm also coming out of around a 6 to 8 week heavy base block. Now, the reason this is an advantage is because if you watch my How Accurate is Your FTP test video, I can link that somewhere here, wherever, you would have noticed I have an extremely tiny maximal fat oxidation rate compared to the average person. And that's from my historically tiny amount of zone 2 done in the past. So the past 6 to 8 weeks have been really heavy on zone 2 work, even some fasted work to really trigger an adaptation in maximal fat oxidation. And I've noticed a huge improvement in the aerobic cost of an effort. Meaning, just to give you some perspective and some numbers, and I don't want to spoil too much because I'm going to be making a future video somewhere along the lines of how much fitness could I gain in 12 weeks. So that'll be coming out in a month. What used to cost 138 beats per minute, my physiological zone 2 effort was around 185 to 200 watts. Now, that same 138 beats per minute corresponds to around 225 watts, which is pretty decent. I am quite content with the improvement, and a big part of that is simply knowing what the biggest point of leverage was for my training and focusing on it. And that's something I help the athletes I work with in Ride with Purpose, is identifying through testing what your biggest point of leverage is, what the 20% of work that can bring forth 80% of results are on the bike for you, and then working on it. Anyways, point being, that is another advantage. Advantage number 3, I slept semi-well last night, as well as you can for having an 8-month-old. And advantage number 4, psychologically, I'm in a good mood, and I also have a tailwind on the segment that I'm going to be aiming for. And a tailwind helps quite a bit. Disadvantages, the main one being, I have never in my life, and this may be a mental block for me, but I've never in my life hit a 5-minute PR on the flats. And obviously in Dubai, it's mostly flat. And so I'm a little bit intimidated because of that. I think my body is more adept to climbing than it is to these flat efforts. However, that being said, an advantage I do have is I have this super aero bike. So that should help. But it's more so the way I produce power. When I feel like I'm fighting against gravity, it's easier than fighting against wind. This morning I had around 60 to 70 grams of carbs I'm going to be keeping today's ride short. The ride literally looks like a 20 to 25 minute warm up. We're going to be doing 3 1-minute efforts around 350 watts, followed by 3 minutes easy spinning in between, some 12-second primers, and then we take 5 minutes easy. In that 5 minutes easy, I'm going to take some carbs. I have a gel with me that has around 40 grams of carbs, and then we're jumping right in. Now, I think the most important thing I'm going to be focused on today is my pacing. I think pacing is the make it or break it today, especially on a flat effort. So I want to start the first 90 seconds a little bit more conservatively than from 90 seconds to around 4 minutes. That's really the hard part, to be honest, because that's the part where it's just like never ending pain. But that's where I'm going to hit my target effort, maybe a little bit over, like 5% over my target effort. And then that last minute, just all out. And that's going to be the minute of hell, just like pure torture. I'm going to extend the interval by around 5 seconds on each side. So really, it's going to be a 5 minute and 10-second interval to make sure that we get the right power for the 5 minutes. That's something I also do when testing for 1 minute all outs, because what happens is a lot of the time, let's say you hit lap and then you start your effort and you're starting at your zone 2, and then it takes like 3 to 5 seconds before the average power goes up. So to account for that 3 to 5 seconds, we start it a little bit earlier and extend the effort for like a minute and 10 or a minute and 8. My goal for today, I'll start with my conservative goal and then I'll tell you my ambitious goal. Conservative goal is 380 watts. The reason this is conservative is because that's my 5 minute power that I did in August, minusing the 1 minute. So my 4 minute power for that effort was 410 watts. I want to be able to hit 400 to 410 as my 5 minute power for today. That's the ambitious goal. But if I get 380, I will be content, especially the fact that I'm doing this on the flats. If I get anywhere between 350 to 380, I will be neutral, neither content nor discontent. Still a hard effort. That's like 4.6 watts per kilo, 4.8 watts per kilo. If I get less than that, I'm just gonna suck it up, go home and cry. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm gonna continue my warm up here, get some good music on, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. Side note, the other day, I took my client to Abu Dhabi. I booked him in for a complimentary bike fit with a reputable bike fitter. So I took him in to see Victor from Wolfies. I think he's one of the best bike fitters in the country. And while we were there, stumbled across 2 things. The new Factor 1, which is, in my opinion, I'm sure it's a very fast bike. I'm sure performance-wise it's crazy, but it's aesthetically horrendous. Just my opinion, but it kind of looks like a mashup between the Cervelo S5 from the side. It has the handlebars of the Y1 RS, and then it has the fork of a Dyson Airblade and the clearance of a monster truck. But I'm sure it's a very fast bike. And then we also stumbled across Tadej Pogacar's Y1 RS that just sold an auction a couple weeks ago for $190,000. Crazy, because I have the same bike and it was not $190,000. Okay, stopping to have my gel here because there's a garbage can here and I don't want to litter. Water. Okay, so we're more than halfway through here. So I have maybe around 3 or 4 kilometers till I get to where I want to start my 5 minute effort. So we'll take it easy until then. And I want to talk you through some of the psychological aspects of this. Let's say the mental frameworks that I am practicing for this effort and for a lot of the hard stuff that we do. So there's a couple in mind. Now I've learned these from sports psychologists, but also therapists. Number 1 is visualization. So this is from a book called Psychocybernetics. The practice of visualizing yourself doing the hard thing and succeeding at it, and not just succeeding, but the aspects that are within your control, manipulating them positively. So for example, let's say in this case, I'm visualizing myself. I'm at home in my bed, eyes closed, my body is fully relaxed, not holding any tension anywhere, and I'm visualizing myself doing this extremely hard 5-minute all out. As my body is still relaxed and I'm connected to my breathing, yes, I'm imagining the effort and the end goal, like me hitting 400 watts, for example, but I'm also imagining positive self-talk in the middle of the effort. So rather than saying, this sucks, you're gonna fail, etc., saying, don't stop now, you can do this, keep pushing, this is within your control, etc. So that positive self-talk, because what happens is a lot of us almost psych ourselves out. Like for example, right now, my heart rate is way higher than it should be. If I was doing a normal ride, my heart rate would be probably around 15 beats per minute less. So I might psych myself out and go, oh, your heart rate's too high, you're not gonna be able to hit a PR today because of that, and this and this and that. But instead, I'm telling myself, it's fine. I know psychologically the nerves are going to raise my heart rate, and that's fine. More blood flow to the muscles, more blood flow to the legs. So that's number one, visualization and self-talk. Number two is breaking up the interval into chunks. Like 90 seconds here, then 2 minutes here, then the last 90 seconds. I think the math is right there, yeah. So that helps significantly. Anyways, I'm gonna cue 3 or 4 songs I really like, and then we'll get into this. My heart rate is so elevated, but again, that's fine. More blood flow to the muscles. All right, so first 90 seconds, we'll aim for around 360 to 380 watts. All right. 3, 2, 1. Don't push too hard. There we go. Let's go. That's 90 seconds. That's halfway. Why'd the music stop? crap! Check, check. Okay, back at the car now. Let's go ahead and look at these results. I don't even know if I want to know. Where's my ride? It didn't even. Stupid Garmin. Honestly, if you are a Wahoo owner, can you tell me if Wahoo is faster than Garmin at syncing your ride? Give me a minute. I don't even know if I want to know. Third best all-time power. Man, let's see what this was. So keep in mind, in August, I did 378 watts, and that was for the 5-minute effort, but the last minute was not even all out. So today, 5 minutes, man, not great. 353 watts. Let's see the training peaks. 353. I had my all-time 5-minute heartbeat record of 180 beats per minute, which is messed up. We normalized power of 358, average heart rate of 180, max heart rate of 185, average cadence of 94, average speed of 49.2 kilometers an hour, and it's 4.6 watts per kilo. So 353, that is 25 watts less than my best in August. I think if I do this on a climb, especially a short, intense, steep climb, I can probably hit higher, but that's today's record, which is third all-time best. I'll take it, but I think I can do better still, even though this was ridiculous. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my suffering. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Ciao.